Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday and welcome to YouTube Live. I'm your host, Philip Quinn, Medium Life Guide. I'm here with Isaac and Redfeather, my two guides. So I've been on a while and I just want to jump on here and catch up with all of the YouTube fans who've been following us for all these years. And I said, I got to get on here. We've just been busy recording a whole lot of courses that are coming up, and we have exciting new things coming, which I'll be telling you about very soon. So first and foremost, happy Holy Week for all those who celebrate. And I wanted to just share that. And also people have been asking me, hey, Phil, are you running any specials or any, sales? And because, it's Holy Week and Easter's coming up and all that, and, state of the economy, I said, yes, we are. So we're doing a 20% off sale for all readings, from life readings to readings with your family, Isaac, so on. And so you can go to philipquinn.com and receive that. And if there's a code that you're supposed to use, I don't believe there is. Catherine will tell us. I think it just automatically deducts it. So, there is a code. So, which is Spring 20. And Spring 20 is the code for the discount. 20% off any of the services while you're talking to Isaac, Redfeather, life reading, or speaking to your family, and gift certificates. So again, if you want to purchase a gift certificate for later, for the holidays, whatever, go right ahead and do so. Now, and all of that can be found at philipquinn.com. Today's topic we are discussing karma and what exactly it is. This is something that comes up a lot in readings and talking to people, and actually throughout the years, and just conversations I have with people on a day-to-day. We view karma as this entity, this force that is going to essentially the reckoning should somebody have wronged us, or if somebody had done something that we perceive not to be morally acceptable. And is karma going to harm them? Is karma going to punish them? Many of us get out of a relationship or like, I hope karma gets that SOB, and so on. And I'd like to talk about what karma actually is and what its function is, how it plays a role in your life and our spiritual path and all of that. So first and foremost, understand this. Wishing karma on another means you're in control, right? You've now taken the wheel, essentially, and you're no longer the passenger. You become your God, because when you're wishing karma on somebody, despite what the situation is, why it's warranted or not, you are stepping into the role of commanding such a power and focusing or directing that towards another person. And that comes with its own set of issues. Karma is aware of all beings on this planet. Okay? There's good karma and there's not so good karma. Okay? But either way, we're faced with this throughout our path, throughout our journey here on this earth. So there's two forms of karma. I was talking to Isaac and Redfeather before I came on. I'm like, you need to list this out for me. How do you want me to break it down to people? There's two forms of karma. Instant karma. Now, you all know what instant karma is. You make a joke, you turn around, you step and you fall over somebody, and somebody's like, karma. And so instant karma happens as a wake-up call, right? It's showing you, be mindful of actions, be mindful of either jokes, be mindful of wording, because not everybody perceives our jokes to be funny, it could be hurtful. And so instant karma is to bring you back to center and say, be careful of that, because this can have dire effects, not only for the person that is being said to, but also we lose a sense of self. Sarcasm will cause karma, meaning that people who respond sarcastically although it may be their form of communication, not everyone receives it that way. So, not receiving it that way, meaning that it can be hurtful, but people laugh it off. And so you always want to be aware of your surroundings, what this, you know, how we say things, not what we say, it's how we say them. And then there is the long term karma, like this karma is not in a hurry, but yet you are. And you're like, when is this SOB going to get their, comeuppance or whatever it may be? Remember, karma is part of your spiritual path, Isaac's saying. So karma is here not only to teach us. We build good karma, we have negative karma. We want to keep things in balance. But long-term karma happens. And what happens with long-term karma is, again, if you've taken the wheel, right? So you're not trusting the universe. You've taken the wheel and you're sending out energy for karmic events to happen to someone because they've hurt us or wronged us or done horrible things. And long-term karma tends to be long-term, meaning that if you're sitting around kind of checking in on the person to see if anything negative has happened to them, karma does not necessarily take place here on earth. Long-term karma can happen. That person can seamlessly go through their life without what you perceived about a negative thing happening. They die and you're like, I can't believe they did this to me and nothing happened. Look, let me tell you how the universe is. What goes on when you cross over to the other side? Totally different situation, ladies and gentlemen. Karma still comes. Now, I think what Isaac's saying with long-term karma is something that we allow the universe to take care of. You never want to be in charge of that. Okay, because then it puts you in a godlike state. You don't want that responsibility. And you certainly don't want to be sitting around waiting for something to happen to somebody, because that again steals from your life and they've already taken from your life. So it's turning it over to your higher self, your God, your whoever you give your knowledge to or receive your knowledge from. For me, it's the universe. And I kind of dust my hands of this. And what I mean by that is, no matter who you are, there's always been a point where like, karma will get them. And my own case, I've been through situations where the person's passed, like nothing's happened. But the one thing Isaac reminds me of is you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't know that torment. You don't know what's taking place. And they still have to do their soul review. Another question I asked Isaac is, and Red Feather, how do we create karma in our lives? Like, how do we do that? And the answer to him was, or from them is, everything you do on a daily basis is creating karma, good, negative. I don't want to say bad, because it's not really a good, bad thing. It's either positive or negative, right? So building positive, and what you project is what you will attract into your world. That's your good karma. Your negative karma is you may not know how to deal with a breakup or loss of a job or not getting that car or getting into the school, and you feel that somebody either blocked you or prevented you, and these words come out of your mouth. I hope that son of a bitch gets blah. And now you've just created karma for self. Okay, so if you didn't get your way and you're wishing bad karma on someone, you've just created negative karma. If someone's harmed you, really harmed you, and you can say, listen, this person was harmed, then the karma is theirs to own and theirs to handle and deal with. So, but you don't want to, listen to me, you don't want to wish karma on anyone, even though we've all done it. You don't want that, because it's a double-edged sword. Waiting for them to be punished will make you sick before they'll get punished, because literally you're never free of them. You're always looking to see how their life went and so on. So, and with karma, it is an energy separate from guides and angels and all of that, that it oversees the balance within humanity. So we have to have this balance because, one, you can't spend too much time on the other side because you're here in this physical vessel. We leave perfection to come to imperfection, to grow and to learn. Or you can't be too much in the physical and not connected to your spiritual self, your religious self, whatever it may be, your point of peace. So hello, everyone. So we can create karma simply by sitting here at this computer talking to you all, and in my head, I'm like, I hope blah, blah, blah gets this. Don't. Because if you have faith in the universe, whatever comes their way is going to be much worse than what happened to you. Because that's the way karma works. Good karma, how does that work? You do the right things, you're helping people, you're so on, and good things come into our world, abundance. What blocks that, Isaac's pointing out, is feeling of worthiness, meaning that you've created good karma, but you'll actually stop good things coming into your life because you feel unworthy, and that's something to be mindful of. Does karma ever talk to you, I asked, and or warn you? So I asked these questions to Isaac and Red Feather as if you were all asking them, and to put it in a way that is easy for me to deliver to you. I've had this extensive conversations about karma with Isaac and Red Feather, and on this platform, I'm limited on what I can say. Thus, we've created a new platform that I'm excited to tell you all about, that there's no limitations. We can talk about all the fun things like aliens and who did what. So does karma ever talk to you, warn you about what's coming on? So think of it like this. Anytime, so we're going to use the term relationship. Relationship just doesn't mean dating. It means friendships. It means siblings, parents, relationship. And if you're butting heads with someone, rather than mother effing them and saying they're wrong and I'm right, or vice versa, look at what they're mirroring to you. What is it that they're showing you? What is it about them that you don't care for? And why is it causing such a visceral reaction within self? Now, sometimes it's just frustration. And other times in a relationship, there's mirrors, because karma will put a similar type person in your life to mirror to you what you need to work on here in this human form. So rather than writing the person off, look at it and say, this person was put into my life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So this individual is brought into my world because I have to do, it's showing me what I need to work on. And that's hard, because one of the things you have to focus on is dropping the barrier that we put up. It's really ego and pride. You know, I don't want to be wrong, so I'm going to focus on this. The purpose of karma and this situation, like with a relationship, a friendship, a coworker, whatever, it's telling you in a very subtle way, hey, Philip, this keeps coming up and you keep butting heads with people on this because this is what you need to address within self. The universe will continue to put that type of person in your life until you see what you need to work on. So you may consistently date the same type of person. Well, the universe will keep putting that person in your life, and you, the heart chakra, will go, I've met the love of my life, because it's what you know based on what you've grown up. We are a product of what we've been exposed to in our human vessel on this planet. So our previous lives are wiped clean, meaning that we don't remember them. Otherwise, it'd be a conflict. But in this journey that we're on, karma is also to help you go down your path and also help you trust in spirit that keep your side of the street clean. Don't worry about what's going on over there. I had lots of notes here. Okay, so karma also plays into the soul's purpose. And Karma's main function, I just want you to know, like, karma is not, when I say it's an energy, it's a race of beings. So as you have angels and you have guides and you have ascended masters, karma's a being. Like, literally. The first time I saw this, I'm like, what are you? And I know we all joke about like how I freak out about aliens. That freaks me out. But I can meet a new being that doesn't look like us, and I can like, what are you? I'm karma. Okay, how do you work and what are you doing here? But karma is balance. Okay, it evens the scales. If we've done something that's not so virtuous, then the scales must be balanced. Why? Why do the scales have to be balanced, Phil? Like, all right, so I did something that's not so virtuous. This happens, or this. You don't want that. You don't want an imbalanced scale, because if you don't rectify it, guess what? Karma will. Can you rectify it? Most definitely. And that's the big thing where we're going to. How do we clear, rectify, and or balance karma without karma balancing it for you? Now, when I wrap this up, you're free to ask any question you want about karma and how it takes place and am I doing this right, or whatever it may be. How we clear karma is first humility. You have to humble yourself with ego, pride, and righteousness. No one on this planet, even as a victim, should be wishing bad on another, because now their toxicity is going to come back toward you. You don't want that. By removing ego, pride, and righteousness, it allows us to come to an individual and say, hey, Philip, what I did, said, done to you, I'm truly sorry for. And here's why I did it. Not saying it was right, but here's why this took place. And I'm truly sorry that I put myself through this and I dragged you into this. Balance happens immediately. It doesn't mean that the party that was harmed or hurt has to or is going to accept your apology. But if you're coming to this from a healthy place, if you're coming to this truly humbled, without ego, pride, righteousness, or narcissism, or just anything, like you're truly coming because you want to make this right, because you don't want to live that life. Karma sees that, and then the scales are balanced. If you're pretending, that's it. Now, if you're pretending, just don't. There's something called a spiritual crime. Oh, this is why we're switching platforms. I love you all, but you guys can follow us right over here. It's very, very cool. A spiritual crime is this. My career has been built off, anybody who knows me, I'm not here to make you feel better. I'm here to repeat what the other side has to say. I don't put fluff in, and I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I can only tell you what the other side is telling me to tell you, because I'm neutral. They're guiding you and they know your life. So me putting my spin on it is a no-no. I learned that early on. A spiritual crime is when you say to me, you're cheating. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Why would you say that? I just have this feeling, blah, blah, blah. And my gut is saying, no, you are. And the individual convinces you to go against your gut. Okay, the worst thing that you can do to anyone, ladies and gentlemen, regardless if you're fearful of if your husband or wife finds out using a relationship in this state, and I don't want to go through a divorce, I don't want to lose all this stuff, but if you convince someone that their gut reaction is wrong, and they believe you, and you continue on about your way, only for them to find out that not only did you lie, but you made them go against their spiritual compass, that is known as a spiritual crime. And I assure you that this will call karma to your life very, very fast. If you don't want to own up, if you don't want to fess up, that's okay. But don't tell me that the gut feeling that I'm having is incorrect. And don't tell me it's paranoia. Number one, I've always said this, women's guts are 10 times stronger than men's. I don't know why it is. It's just one of your gifts. And when you feel it, the gut, particularly with karma, the gut doesn't waver. It's very much like, this is what's going on. No explanation, no nothing. It just says it. The head will kind of waver. Maybe I'm basing this off a past relationship. Also, the head's going to tell you, do you really want to be single? Is it really that bad? Yeah, it is. So again, you'll repeat the lesson until you get it. You'll repeat the same person until you get it. But when your gut speaks to you, it never wavers. It doesn't create fictional events. It's not even interested in trying to make you happy. It's keeping you safe. And regardless if you like the information or not, your gut's going to tell you this is not the person for you. Exit this. Why is it saying exit this? Isaac's saying because that person doesn't wish to evolve. That person's not owning their stuff. And that person they're playing a game. So get out. Versus the head will be like, maybe I'm just overreacting and so on. And that's how you can tell the difference between your gut and your head. Your head will give you multiple answers. Your gut will be like, And that's where, if you've ever gone against your gut, hindsight's 2020, you're like, I knew that. I knew not to do that. But the head will give you several scenarios. So this is how karma works in our life. And I'm gonna say this to you all again. One, if you can avoid it, don't wish it on anyone. Okay? Don't sit around wishing karma on anyone, or I hope this happens to them or this happens to them, because it has there's a kind of a backdraft effect where some of it then falls onto you. You turn it over to the universe. Hey, I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to be a rescuer. I'm not dating narcissists. I'm not dating people that gaslight me. I'm out. I'm creating a boundary. That's their karma, and they have to do what they have to do with it. The long-term karma and the short-term karma. Instant karma is like you're making fun of someone, you turn around and fall, and someone's like, karma. And you're like, okay, Phil, got to correct myself because what I just did wasn't cool, and so on. Long-term karma is, it may not happen right away. It could happen a year, 6 months, 6 years, 16 years, whatever. Or on the other side. But if you're sitting around watching the clock, checking social media, seeing what happens to them, they broke up with you, broke your heart, and you're seeing them on social media having a fabulous life, and you're victimizing yourself because you're like, this person did this to me. I can't believe they're having such a great life. Two things Isaac says. It's social media. So therefore, everyone only posts the bright things. They're not going to post the negative. And two, karma comes in many various forms. It may happen in this lifetime or when they get into the soul review. How do we create karma in our lives? Just like if you're sitting here and sharing with you all how it works, you're creating good karma. Or if you're sitting around and you're doing your rosary bead and you are mother effing and hoping something bad happens to somebody, that, not so good, creates a negative karma. So therefore, the scales will have to be balanced. We always keep everything in balance. Meaning that if you ask the universe for something, you give something. What do you give? Your fears, your phobias, your concerns. That's all the universe wants. That keeps things in balance, because the universe takes the negative and takes it out of shadow, puts it into light. So you don't have to give away your firstborn. Does karma ever talk to you? Just recapping this. Yes, it does. It comes in the form of friendships, relationships, and anything that mirrors to you. If you date the same person over and over again, it's like, there's a message here. I need to take a step back and see what it's showing to me. Because some people will keep banging their head against that wall until thinking that that individual is going to change. Change only happens when the individual wishes to grow. And lastly, karma is part of your soul's purpose. It's part of our coming to earth. We're going to experience negative. But because you are a spiritual being and you are, if you're able to connect to higher self, That's what the soul codes are created for, the Light Within course that we have coming up. And higher self will tell you, patience, allow this to unfold. And how do we clear karma? Owning, keeping your side of the street clean, not finger pointing, not creating a spiritual trauma, meaning that you blaming someone knowing what you did was wrong, knowing that what you're being accused of is factual, but you're making the other person think that they're nuts. You don't want that, because that's a fast way to bring the doctor to you. And karma is a race of beings. Literally, when I met them, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me here. And everybody thinks it's a universe and so on, but it actually is a race of beings. But in our new program coming, we'll be able to get into that. So, Catherine, are you there, my dear? I hope she is. Oh, here we go. I had to reload that. Hi, honey. Okay, so I'm going to take some of your questions. And again, I just want to recap something and this was Holy Week, and it's very important to a lot of people. But Holy Week is important to everyone. So from spirituality to religion to Passover, you name it. And this is just my way of giving back. So there's, of all my reading services, with the exception of the Soul Code program, it's 20% off and off gift certificates. And I believe it's Spring 20 is the code. So, and I'm going to take a question. All right, Sarah's asking, what about positive karma? Is it real? Or is it negative only? No, positive karma is legit. And each day, that's one of my focuses, is creating positive karma. So when I sit with you and I'm doing a reading, you have all my attention. And positive karma is created when, one, we engage, we listen. Two, we're helping people for the right reasons, not to get something out of them. Positive karma is something that is stored, built up, and at the right time, your higher self will say, we're going to use that positive karma chips to bring this into your life. So, because you've learned enough, meaning like you've let go of certain things and you've overgrown certain things, and it's saying, let's bring this into our lives. Negative karma, it's karma. People hear the term karma, Isaac saying, but that doesn't mean negative. There's positive and there is not so positive. Thought I was asking, I've heard about generational karma. Great question. Is that a thing? I hope not. My grandfather wasn't the best of guys. So the term generational karma is a thing. The action, my grandfather wasn't a great guy, is not a thing. You do not owe karma for families. I know the popular opinion, but you don't. Your soul and your partner's soul may travel parallel paths, but you're not on the same path. You didn't have the same upbringing. And even if you did have the same upbringing, meaning that you could live next door to each other, what goes on in two houses shapes the soul totally different. So we do not pay karma for previous people's mistakes. I know someone's going to ask this. Philip, does the karma of our previous lives affect the karma of this life? And Isaac's saying, brace yourselves. Everyone for the longest time has been told, yes, our previous life, we come in to rectify our previous karmic mistakes. No, you don't. Because when you go into the soul review, you see all the things that you failed to do. Now, you could bear markers. Let's just say you have a scar or a birthmark right here, maybe a way that you passed. You may be claustrophobic or you fear of water, because that taps into previous life when you're here on Earth. But you're not coming back to Earth to deal with something that you did before and try to live your path. That's not how it works. That's handled in the soul review. Once you come into Earth, it's a new contract and it's go get them. Listen, each lifetime you have, you learn things, you retain things. When you connect to higher self, that's what the soul codes and the Light Within course is designed for, is connecting to higher self tells you, hey, this is something that we have to focus on, overcome, release, let go. And this is something that you know how to do because you've done it in your previous life and so forth. Dolly's asking, hi, Phil. Are karma and forgiveness tied together? Yes, that's what builds good karma. So the recipe for forgiveness is this: looking at the situation with no emotion. You're removing ego, you're removing pride, you're removing that self-righteous feeling. You're seeing for what it is. But the hardest thing, no matter what it is, what was your part in it? Now, there's obviously certain events that happen in life that you don't have a part in it because you were young or so on and so forth. But if you repeat the pattern that was done to you that you didn't care for or whatever, it's that builds negative karma. But forgiveness and positive karma are linked, because if you can humble yourself and look at the situation for what it is, that's where forgiveness comes in. Let me clarify, Isaac says. Forgiveness does not mean you are the lesser being. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you're letting someone off the hook. Forgiveness means you will not take up any more space in my head. You will not enter my energy field on a daily basis thinking about what if or why or so forth. Forgiveness is freeing yourself from that energy so it no longer has any attachment to you. That's called, how do I know? I need the English word for that. Well, think of it as a burning, okay? Meaning that, like the phoenix doesn't die, it's reborn. It burns off all the attachments of the old life. So forgiveness means letting go, and whatever happens to them, but they're not going to affect my life or my family's daily. John's asking, so do new souls come in with completely balanced scales, aka no karma? Great question, John. Everyone comes in without karma because you've handled your previous life's karma in your soul review. Now, think about what's being said, Isaac says. Society has taught us that one of our ways of getting what we deserve is a bad thing happening to another person. Well, it doesn't really make you a spiritual person if you're wishing bad on another person, okay? But everyone who comes into their new contract on this earth, old soul or new soul, is not bringing karma with them. So if you're a new soul, you obviously don't have any karma. But you're not going to bring in your lifetime before's karma into this, because what you're going to see is in this lifetime, thus deja vu, so on, is that provides wisdom. Done that in a previous life, don't like swimming, not going to be doing it again. So I'll give you an example. Lessons, karma, all this, blah, blah, blah. I have never experienced a riptide. And no idea. I've heard about them, never experienced one. And last year, I did, and had no idea what to do with it, other than almost drowned, had it not been for somebody else there. And even though here's the ego part, Isaac says, Philip, these waters are strong. That's all he'll say to me, because that's how guides work. So just went ahead and did it, and I felt like an octopus grabbed my leg and was bringing, I didn't know if I was up or down. But that knowledge, so I won't get into water right now, but that knowledge, let's just say I come back again, I may have an aversion to water if I allow that fear to progress. If you overcome it, then you'll come back into your new world and water won't be a thing. It's all about the power you give to it. Does the intention behind any action carry more weight than the action itself in karmic terms? I'm sorry, does the intention behind any action carry any glasses? Does the intention behind any action carry more weight than the action itself in karmic terms? Yes. So the intention is everything, because the intention, think of it as gasoline. What your chakras, so all 7 chakras with intention are blasting out energy, okay? And that intention is either going to ignite this and make this very strong and so on, or if it's kind of lackluster, but your intention is everything. But also that intention has a direct effect on self, because you're giving away your power to someone that you don't care for. Dave is asking, do animals and plants also accrue karma in the same way humans do? Very great question. No, there's no animals build good or negative karma except cats. Every other animal's cool, but cats, they build karma. Just kidding. Just kidding. So, no animal has karma, okay? Because karma, I'm just kidding for all you cat lovers, karma is something that is built based on what you can get from another person, manipulation, deception, so on, lies. Our beautiful, beautiful pets are our animal totem. They are here to not only protect us and walk us through, but they do not build negative karma. As a matter of fact, they help us create positive karma. So that's a big thing. Cats, dogs, horses, I can go on and go on. They're so intuitive, but connected to the other side, but they're not building karma. Can we talk directly to karma? And can karma hear us? Yes. And here's the thing about karma. You'll call it to yourself because you'll be ruminating, perseverating on this happened to me, this happened to me. I can't believe this son of a bitch did blah, 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 blah. And karma will hear you and come into your life. Let me teach you something. Do not call karma into your life, ladies and gentlemen, because chances are when you call karma down, wishing it upon someone else, the way karma works is karma flies through each of the chakras, crown, third eye, back and forth. And it looks for what we have done in our past. And because we're wishing karma, it's also going to balance the scales at the same time. Now, if you haven't done that, you got nothing to worry about. But if you do, that's how karma is going to do that. If it's in the room, it's going to check you out, and it's going to check out what you're directing toward. Kimberly's asking, how does suicide affect karma? Great question. It does not. They are not even one and the same. I'm not exactly sure what we're saying with that is if suicide and do you create negative karma or positive karma, we're not in the same conversation. It has nothing to do with one and the other. And I appreciate that conversation, that question, but they're not even the same. People that end their time here is due to mental illness, stressors, and so forth. And this is karma, not dealing with the physical vessel. Gary's asking, when karma gets someone, do they know why? Oddly, yes, Gary, they know why, but they don't often look at it as, oh, it's because I did that. However, when karma comes, if the person is able to remove their ego, their pride, their self-righteousness, and see how this karmic event played out, they'll be able to look back on, oh shit, that happened because of this. I remember that time 10 years ago when I did blah, blah, blah. I knew this was coming around. And here's the thing about karma. Once it's dealt, you're like, okay, that's over. I've got that off my plate. Like literally, I focus on creating good karma because I know the baggage of negative karma. Nothing, it's like treading through mud. Nothing goes the way that you want it to go. So it's just best to clear your plate or truly go up to someone and say, if they will accept you, or write a letter. I'm sorry for what I did for you. I'm sorry for walking out on those kids. I'm sorry for manipulating you, deceiving you, cheating on you. I'm sorry for stealing. I'm sorry, whatever it is. And you're owning it and saying, here's why I did this. It doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to be acceptable of why they did it. They're explaining to you why they did it. It made sense to them. Doesn't mean it makes sense to you. I know this affected your life, and I'm taking ownership for this. I'm sorry that you were involved in this. I hope you can forgive me, and good luck with your life. You're not looking to have a friendship again with a person or anything like that. You're just owning your stuff, and that clears karma. Thomas Fenway is asking, hello, my friend. What about a person who is trapped in an abusive relationship? Are they creating karma for themselves for not being able to leave? Thomas, excellent question. So what's happening in that situation, Isaac's saying, Redfield's saying, is one, the individual staying in the relationship for a variety of reasons. One, self-esteem. When you're in an abusive relationship, your self-esteem is torn apart. Two, they want the person to see what they're doing because they love or care about the person. But it's really not love. It's because there's probably profound manipulation in there and they've lost sense of self. So they're not necessarily creating karma for self. They're hoping against hope that the person will have a wake-up call. But because that person has a wake-up call, it doesn't mean that they're going to roll over and look at you and see that you're their knight in shining armor or you're their diamond in the sky. It means that their karma could wake up and say, I'm in the wrong relationship. What I've been doing is absolutely horrible. I need to go get help and peace out. So you won't yourself necessarily create negative karma, but what you'll do is you'll waste your time with someone who doesn't wish to evolve. And we're not here to save people. For those who want help, and if it's within our ability, we help. It's the same thing with readings. I don't walk up to someone and say, hi, I'm Phil, I'm a medium, because it can be very rattling to someone. Two, my readings are extremely in-depth and personal. So it's more than hi, bye. And it's, again, I want to be seen for me. You know, I know what I do for a living, but I also don't want to take away from the crowd that we're with or whatever it may be. So if you find yourself in a toxic situation, the first thing Isaac says that you do, and Red Feather's weighing in on this, is, why do I deserve this? And if you can answer that, the next piece of the puzzle that will be given to you from higher self is how I exit this. And that's where you start. But that's how karma speaks. What is the meaning of white orbs? Days before a person passes? Angels. So before a person passes, people will often see orbs, or they will see the individual talking to family members that have deceased, that have passed over. And if any of you've experienced this, if any of you've ever had a sign of someone who is about to pass or has, on the day they're passing, referring to the loved ones that have passed over, just hit the like button or a heart or something like that. But a white orb coming into the room is an angelic spirit or a hierarchy, meaning that an ascended master, and it's going to help cross the soul over to the other side and bring them to the other side. What happens to someone that hurt you immensely, but passed away, but passed on, and you only found out about the deceit after their passing? That's what I was referring to. Is it my karma for experiencing that? No, it's not your karma for. So what happens to someone that hurt you immensely, but passed on, and you only found out about the deception after their passing? Is it my karma for experiencing that? No. If someone inflicted their free will upon you and you didn't know, it's not your karma, it's theirs. The karma that you would be suffering, Isaac says, is the why. And where you can literally get lostness. I trusted this person. I believed in this person. I loved this person. This person was part of my family. How could this horribleness happen? One of the things that I see a lot is when someone passes, this is really annoying me. When someone passes, there's a change in the will. First and foremost, inheritance is a gift. It is not something you're owed. 2, when you learn of deception after someone has passed, if you're hearing it secondhand, unless you see it in black and white, unless there's full 100% evidence, or if it's coming from another person, you don't really know it to be true, unless the soul itself is telling you, and or you have it in black and white. So it's not your karma, it's theirs, and they'll be dealing with that in the soul review. Many times in my readings, I have souls come through to apologize for what they've done. And they straight out say what they've done. I mean, these are difficult conversations, but they'll come through. And it's not to clear their energy. It's to acknowledge that what you went through and what I put you through was not only wrong, but acknowledging how it decimated that portion of your life. Wendy's asking, hi, Phil. You mentioned many times that your gut never lies. I have a hard time telling how my gut is communicating to me. Can you give an example of gut communication, feeling / talking to you? Okay, I think we just talked about it a few minutes ago, but we'll do it again. All right, 1, when your gut makes a decision, don't do that. And then you look back in hindsight, you're like, I knew not to do that. My gut was screaming to me not to do that. That's your gut. Okay, you'll feel it here. Your head will waver. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Your gut is devout. It's here to keep you safe. Your gut does not waver. It doesn't come up with multiple scenarios. That's your head, your crown chakra, or your third eye. The head and the third eye want what they want, particularly the heart. The heart wants to make that man or woman the person that they think that they should be, or that will be a fit for them. But your gut doesn't matter. It says, peace out. This is not good for you. And it doesn't move. And then time goes on. You look back and be like, there it was. There's them red flags. Saw it, didn't acknowledge it until, boom, I got hurt. You look back and you say there. So your gut will always be strong. Your head will give you multiple scenarios. Hopefully that helps. So wrapping this up, 2 things. 1, karma. Let the universe do what it's going to do. We don't need to wish it. Because when that person's wronged you, their guide is like, here you go, karma. Like, because their guide has tried to tell them many times, don't do that. Don't hurt someone. Don't so on. Number 1. 2, if you wish to repair your karma, own your mistakes. If you can't speak to the person because they don't want to talk to you, you can write a letter. If they're deceased, you can write a letter or speak to them directly. But own your mistakes. If you're going to write a letter, explain yourself. Not because you want the other person to accept this answer, but the raw truth. That's what balances everything. I did this because I could. There's no right or reason. I was young, so on, blah, blah, or whatever it may be. But that's how we clear karma. We remove ego, pride, righteousness. We just say the truth. Here's what it is. And it's up to us. Either you accept that or you don't. Isaac's saying no answer is going to be good enough when somebody hurt you. So I hope that answers some of your questions on karma. And like I said, we're working toward a new project that's going to be revealed very soon. And we're going to be able to have these in-depth conversations in community and so forth. And I thank you all for tuning in. For any of you that wish to purchase a reading, either a gift certificate or for yourselves, there's a 20% off sale running right now, which is spring 20. Hope I have that right. And I love all the questions you guys ask. I'll come back in and read them, answer as many as I can. But moving forward, build good karma for self. Allow the negative to be handled by the universe. We don't have to be the God in that situation. So that's what angels are for. That's what guides are for. That's what karma is for. And as long as you keep your side of the street clean, everything else will work out. I hope you all have a wonderful Easter. I hope you all had a wonderful Passover. I hope you all are just getting through and doing what you have to do. And remember, when you're in your readings, when your family comes through, or if you're having a life reading, or if you're having a reading for health with Red Feather, or whatever it may be, their job is to give you the clearest, most direct way through the bushes to get not only on your path, but to be where you want to be. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope to see you again very soon. We are going to have structured lives. So we are with our upcoming venture, and we'll be announcing that soon. But I just wanted to come on and send my love to you all, and we'll talk again. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Redfeather.